Hello, I'm Ali.
And I'm her best friend Em.
This is She Said, She Said.
Join us for our ritual Wednesday evening glass of wine as we talk about the highs and lows of life as two foreign ladies living in France.
Think of this as the group chat you actually want to be on, where we talk about all the plates we're spinning and occasionally dropping.
We'll also give you the best tips we've learned from over a decade living among the Frenchies.
C'est parti!
Hello!
Hiya! How
How
are
are
you?
you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good.
How are you?
I'm alive. It's
You're
Wednesday.
alive? Yeah. Did you make it through? If
I
you're
made
there,
it
then you
through.
did.
Yeah, I made it through. It's Wednesday night. I've got my beer. I've drank most of it already. Sorry. I was late.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to put it into context, lovely listeners, it's Wednesday and we're both living in France. This is my lovely friend Ali.
And
Who
this
is
is my
it?
lovely friend Emma.
Yeah, we're foreigners, illegal. No, not illegal. God, don't go and get me. I was
Have
gonna
some
say
reps. Oh,
definitely not illegally living in France. Very legally living in France.
very legally living in France, both of us, with our families.
Yes. But Wednesdays are special. Such a special day
Such
because
a
no
special
children.
day
Such
because children don't go to school, do they? So
exactly.
you're either with them all day, um, or you work, but it's still a different rhythm at home, isn't it?
Yes. Exactly.
So
You're either with them all day, which is let's face it, that's the hardest option of them all.
kinda.
It's beautiful but hard.
Yes.
So beautiful.
It's like your favorite thing in the world, being with them, not being with them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. Or you go to work morning, afternoon, or all day, and you just hustle. You find them a club, you come back and ferry them in between to a different club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then every year is different as well, right? So you think you figured it out for one year, but then next year something is different is going on. So yeah, so we're here, we have our drinks, we made it through Wednesday. Kids are in bed, more or
Yours,
less.
yours are or aren't in bed because they've been quite boisterous, I
They're
would say.
quite busy still in the hallways, so there might be an interruption. I'm sorry for that. But I will be screaming at them in German. Then they'll just go back to their beds.
Beautiful dulcet German tones entering our ears.
Oopsie. No, I hope not. But anyway, yeah. And tonight we want to talk about something that's really, really important to us, isn't it? I
Yeah,
mean,
it
it's
is. It is
one
so
of the
important.
reasons we're here,
It
um,
is, yeah.
which is friendship between women,
Female friendship. Yeah.
female
Yeah, yeah.
friendship. Yes.
Definitely. So yeah, I would like to say to our lovely listeners, grab a drink. If you want a wine, if you want a beer, you earned it. It's a Wednesday. Even if you're in
Yes.
UK, even if you're in Germany, even if you're anywhere else in the world, or
Yes.
grab a cup of tea if you don't want to drink, that's fine.
Yes. We're down with non-alcoholic drinks. It's very,
100%.
that's very, what's the new generation? Like,
Gen Z. It's very Gen Z. It
it's
is,
very
yeah.
Gen Z.
Yeah. It's very Gen Z. Like, get my six pack for Instagram. They're not on Instagram, are
Exactly.
they?
No
They're on
drink.
TikTok.
Not anymore. Exactly. Not anymore. You just outed yourself. Anyway, whatever you drink, whatever you need to do to unwind, um, here we go.
Do it now. We're going to talk about female friendship. Buckle
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So, the starting point, the the birth of She Said was when we met each other,
Yes.
which was
And we talked
now,
about this before. And
yes.
actually, I think I remember it more than you do because um, it was like just such a big event for me that day because
Oh,
I came into a group that already existed. So obviously, like I remember it like super closely. And we were in Lyon, and a friend of ours brought me. I think we were interns in that news channel we were working for, and she was like, tonight I'm seeing a couple of friends. You should come along and have a drink. And I just remember going there and meeting you guys, and like going home and just being like, oh my God, I have a crush on all of them. I found my crowd.
It's so cute.
And it wasn't the first time I lived abroad, so I really knew what it meant to try and find. I mean, I guess like living abroad or not abroad doesn't probably make such a big difference. It's like, you kind of like feel home in a place when you found people that just like match 100% with you. And I felt like this was more difficult probably because because just being foreign just like puts another layer of difficulty to it. But like yeah, definitely remember just being like, yeah, those girls, that's it. Like I feel it. It's like it's great. It's gonna be good.
Our energies match, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I felt that
yeah.
too. I actually don't remember the exact moment. And when you talked about it, I still don't remember, which is really bad.
Uh,
But it was in Lyon, which is where we still live, or we live around Lyon in France,
yeah.
which is where we've lived for bloody ages, a really long time.
I think that club even still exists. It's called Monkey Club. It's like a very, do you remember what it is? It's like
It
very
does.
chic, kind of like cocktail club with like dark, kind of like dark green velvet seats and like kind of like, tempered lights or whatever you call it. It's
Yeah,
like very cozy and I don't know.
it does, because
Chic.
I went there last week with some work
No.
colleagues. Yeah, how can
What?
you beat
You
that?
can't take
Yeah.
anyone else but me there.
I know. Well, we'll go back and claim it back.
Amazing.
Um,
And you know what I really, really, and I'm not like one to remember like loads of little details of things, but this is like how I know that this meant a lot to me. I just like remember thinking, so culturally, because like I'm from Germany and you girls are, so in that group, I think it was like you and another friend of ours from the UK and another friend from ours, from Scotland, right?
yes.
And so like what we already said about like finding friends, like making friends with like French people was like there was always something kind of like a little bit like missing or something that I was like, okay, like culturally, like there's some references I just don't really get 100%. So some of the things you can match on like different levels, but like there wasn't, until that point at least, there wasn't like loads of things I matched on with like any French girls that I met.
Yeah.
Um that went like so deep in that this one thing. So it was like I remember like telling you guys a story about like heartbreak or something, and about me being like heartbroken about this guy I broke up with, like, the first guy I slept with, I think. And I was just like being so melodramatic about it. I remember like I think my parents weren't home or something, and I had this like stereo music thing, and I was just like listening to Destiny's Child Emotions, like to the single of it.
It's emotion.
And then like whenever it went, I was just like crying, and then like the music stopped, and I had to like, it didn't have like a repeat button, so then I was like lying on my bed crying, and then it stopped, and I had to like get back up and like
Just
push
like
play
wind the
again,
tape
like
back.
and go back to crying. And I remember telling you girls, listen, it's just like I think because you got the reference of the song and just like this, the situation of it, it just made us all so laugh so much, and I just remember it being so genuine, to like
Yeah.
all of us laughing to it, that I just felt like, oh my God, I'm just in love with this group.
Oh, that's
And
so
now it's
nice.
been, how long has it been now?
11 years. We've been friends
11
for
years.
11 years, yeah. Because
So,
when we started working together, like kind of soon after that, well, not, yeah, kind of together, different teams. We were
mm,
like both interning-ish, that international news station, which will not be named. Um,
mm,
yeah, I don't actually remember that moment, which I feel really bad about because
really?
normally I remember details that I can normally picture the scene. But I do remember a few times after that. There was one time we went to Mekong Delta, which was kind of a fake Vietnam in a park near Lyon where you could eat Asian food. And I remember just like crushing
It
so
wasn't
hard.
fake. It wasn't fake. It was
No,
very, very true.
well, it wasn't Vietnam. It was in
Oh, it
France
was
still.
Vietnam, yeah. Yes.
It was kind of like lots of little food trucks where you could get like, yeah, really authentic, like lovely food.
Yeah.
And I remember going there and like crushing really hard on you actually. And I remember
Really?
thinking like, we have to be friends. Like we have to be friends.
What was I doing?
You're just being really fit. And I think I fell in love with you at that moment because I remember it very clearly. And I actually spoke to my partner about it quite soon after that, and he was like, "Yeah, but there's not many times you fall in love with a friend like you did with Alex. Like you were talking about us so
Oh.
much after that moment." And yeah, we went to like a bar in Coarhouse, which is like a cool part of Lyon afterwards. And I was like, I must woo this woman. I must bring her into my life.
You didn't have to do anything. It just
You,
happened, didn't it?
like peacocks when they're like, um,
Well, you did a good job.
I don't know what I did, but
Oh, I love it.
yeah. But what about like so we met when we were 25, yeah,
Yeah.
24, 25.
Mm.
What about before that? Like, what about as a teenager, school? Did you have loads of mates?
Yeah.
Like, were you?
Yeah, I have to say, I always had like a quite tight group. I've always like didn't. Mm, yeah, I've had like my very best friend. So well, maybe I can give some context as well. Like I've kind of like moved to Germany when I was 5, I think. So before that, we lived in the US with my parents. So I kind of like remember some of the friends, but like not in a way that I'm like still in contact with anyone. But then from like the very first day of like, so I went to a little bit to kindergarten and then to school. I like met my closest friend, I'm still friends with today, on the very first day of school. And we were like, you know, years and years after school, like teachers would still like tell us like, oh, you're a heart and soul. And like we had like, the same kind of shoes, and like she'd have one pair, well, like she had them in red and I had them in blue, and she'd wear one red, one blue, and me one red, one blue. Like we were like
You-
so tight, like for all of like school. But then there was also other friends allowed, so we all had like, yeah, a big group, and I kind of like stayed friends with them. I have to say I'm still in contact with all of them.
That's so
So
nice.
I guess that's just like lucky, because they're all like people that you can talk to like years later, and they're still, yeah, I know they have kids, I know what jobs they do, and like I've seen them from time to time, but like don't yeah, not like the tightest, but like they come drop by France once every 5 years or something, and come by here and like stay with us and have. So yeah, no, I have to say I kind of like always had like a tight group, and that's also why I'm like always going to a new place. I'm like, oh God, I need that, like I just can't survive without it.
Yes, yes, yes,
um
yes.
but then once I have it, it's, don't need anything else. That's kind of like quite exclusive. I'm like, oh, if people are kind of like a little bit difficult that I meet, I'm just like, yeah, I don't need that. Like, I have friends. Bye bye.
Enough friends. Sorry, bye.
Yeah. So what about you?
I think so. I'm actually not friends with anyone from secondary school. So from like 11 to 16, I didn't really keep in touch with anyone. I have some friends from primary school, but a kind of family friends, I would say.
Hmm?
Their family, their parents are friends with my parents, so it's yeah, they're more family, I would say.
Hmm?
But no, I think that's more of a reflection on me at the time. I think I just didn't wasn't really like confident enough in myself, good like I think it was me. It was, it wasn't the friends at school. And
Yeah.
then I think I went to university and I could start drinking, and I think obviously that liberates you in a certain way, and yeah, inhibitions are down. So I found
Yeah.
it a lot easier to make friends. And also, you could blame things on drinking. So I think I'm definitely an extrovert, I would say.
Hmm.
And I can get kind of silly and that kind of thing. And I think as a teenager, I would get a bit embarrassed of doing that or being
Hmm.
like that because you just want to be cool.
Yeah, I want to fit in. Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm just
What? You are? Okay.
So I think yeah, then I really made loads of friends at uni who I'm still friends with
Yeah.
because I had this kind of crutch, which is really sad in a way,
Totally.
but also not sad because I'm still friends with all of them.
Yeah.
But we definitely, when we see each other, I went away with two of them, really good friends, a couple of weeks ago, and we always revert. Well, I actually know I always revert to like, should we have a drink? Like that's kind of
Mm.
my go-to to kind of
Yeah.
like ease us into talking. And this time
Hmm.
they were kind of thinking like no. And
They
actually
say
like we had
no.
a lovely time. Yeah, they
Are
just
they
said
like
no.
they Gen Zs now?
No. Sorry, girls, I love you, but they're not Gen Zs. They were just really tired, so they're really, really
Oh,
millennials. But we had a great time, and we
amazing.
didn't need to drink.
Yeah.
And now at 35, I realize, I can hold a conversation. It doesn't matter if I seem a bit silly. It's
Yeah.
fine. So yeah, come a long way. Come
Oh,
a long way. I don't know
so
if
okay.
if that's
So,
sad or okay,
you know,
but
no, I don't think so. I think like somehow it's like it kind of like means you're, for once not blaming anything on the alcohol, but kind of like being like, okay, it's kind of like been my, I don't know, the what you call it, the incubator for like, no, the something like kind of like set something into motion, which is
yeah,
kind of
that's a
like
nice way
almost,
of looking at it. Seeing it
yeah,
as kind of a catalyst
yeah,
rather than
catalyst.
a
Yeah, sorry.
crutch.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What about
That's
so
beautiful.
we wanted to talk about
Mm,
our friendship milestones because we've been friends for
mm,
11 years.
yeah.
We've been through a lot of shit.
We've been through a lot, and I think really that is kind of like maybe the secret of like long friendships, that you've been through those many things together, and that it's just like you just bond over stuff, it's a bit like, oh, this is going to be a crazy comparison, but a bit like I have this friend who like works in an emergency room, and she was like, her colleagues are her family because like they bond
Yeah.
over someone dying or someone, it's like we've gone through so many things together. We're family, we're super tight. And I feel like, I mean, on a maybe not as dramatic scale, it
Yeah.
kind of is the same thing. Like we've been through, I don't know, yeah, loss, like kind of like loss together. We've been through um pregnancies, maternity,
Also lost, like, yeah. Yeah,
birth
yeah.
stories, and like how, I just feel like there's so
Mm.
many, yeah, milestones that we've shared that really like every milestone just like carves a story into that stone more and more. It's just really special.
Yeah, for sure. I think maybe us being away from our families as well, because we, from 24, um, yeah,
Because
you and me were
and
like my family.
yeah. What year did you come to France, Emma?
2013?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 23. So we met when I was 24.
Yeah.
And I was still relying on my family quite a lot.
Yeah, sure, as you would, right? In that age. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and I think we kind of, in France, often you spend a lot of time with your family on a Sunday as well, right? I say you,
True.
one
People. Yeah.
French people do. Um, so we kind of did that. We did that really because
We
we
did
didn't have
that.
our family down the
There was a
road.
lot of hanging out on Sundays, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it is again, it still is. It's just different. It's just like many, many children around now. But we used to just hang out on Sundays and watch movies together and that stuff, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. But I think as well, I mean, I would definitely say because when I moved to France, I didn't really speak French very well.
Mm,
Definitely not well enough to like make friends in French.
mm,
Um, and I think French people are kind of more standoffish.
mm.
We probably are going to cover this a lot in a lot of
Yeah,
episodes.
I mean, we can definitely come back to it again and again, but yeah, it's true. It's different, isn't it? We're like more like because we're probably culturally come from like a culturally more similar situation, and
Mm,
maybe me having that, US culture more, and in Germany, like US culture is super present, we like there's no, it's not like in France where they kind of like impose that amount of French songs at the radio, for example, right? You have to have that amount of French songs and
yeah.
on the radio. Like that wasn't, it's not the case in Germany. Everything's, you know, maybe more UK, a bit more UK now, but definitely when I was growing up in Germany in the 90s, it definitely was like US culture, like very, very present. So yeah, that's why we listen to Destiny's Child on repeat. And
So I did want to mention a study. I've done some research.
as you would,
I
as you would.
did. I read a single article about friendship. Like the good journalist I am, getting all sides of the story.
That's one more than I did.
Yeah, just stay one ahead. So the study said, this is the nurse's health study from Harvard Medical School. I read this in Forbes. This showed that the more friends that women have, the less likely they are to develop physical impairments as they age. And the study determined that not having friends is as harmful as your health to being overweight and smoking. What are our thoughts
What?
about this study? That's intense.
It is intense. Um, I think I think it does put a kind of like some pressure on people being like, oh my God, like, oh, what should I do if I have trouble finding friends? But then,
Yeah.
I think that friendship is like so much about like investing into friendship. Like you can't just first there's finding friends that of course isn't according to where you live, and I think today probably a lot of people find friendship online, and that is
Yeah, that's
amazing.
true.
I would probably be interesting to look into that, what the study kind of like defined as friendship. But once you have found a friendship, I think there's a lot to be said about like how to maintain it, right? How to
Mm,
tend to it, how to, and I think for a lot of friends that I have, it's just those little messages that, I'm thinking of you, Anutadad, this is going on in your life. I know, you have that, I don't know, psychologist appointment with your child, like, or even if it's a couple of days later, you're like, I remember you telling me about that and being really stressed about it. Like, did anything come from it? Or I just, it feels like, you're kind of sharing your mental load or
mm,
like, um, but that takes time. That takes
yeah,
time and energy. And, if you have a full day with your kids and work and whatever it is, as I said before, and I always tell myself this, like you only have 24 hours in a day and you do need to sleep a little. So
that's
yeah, it puts a lot of pressure. It puts pressure on people for friendships, but
yeah. I would say that Ali, you're amazing at that. Look, you're so good at remembering and like just checking back in and like yeah, all the kind of defining or really sad moments in my life, you've definitely checked in and just been like thinking about
oh,
you
you
or
have to on mine. Oh,
I don't know if I'm that good at
yeah,
that.
you're good at that. Yeah, you are.
I do think coming back to the study though, and I think there's one period in my life where recent, like adult life, recent, while I was living in France, where you'd kind of moved to the countryside and was sorting out your new house. This is definitely no shade on you or any of our other friends. It's not how I want it to be. Just like life's changed. I was
Mm,
used to you being so close and you moved
mm,
out. Our other friend, Elsa, can we say her name? Elsa? Our
yeah,
other friend? Yeah.
yeah.
I just had a new baby, so very much in
Mm,
that. And our other friend Charlotte was going through a lot, and I just moved out of Lyon. And I just kind of found myself a bit lonely. And
yeah.
when you're used to being surrounded by this like really tight friendship group, I kind of thought,
And
oh,
wasn't it,
who
it
am I going to hang
wasn't,
out with? And
and didn't that kind of like coincide a little bit with like, with COVID as well? Wasn't it just like after COVID? Maybe, do you
it
think that?
wasn't, I was pregnant. I just got pregnant with Mila, so I think I was kind of couldn't really go out and like find party friends
Yeah.
realistically. But
Mm,
my point wasn't woe is me for this moment. It was
mm,
more if I think I'd read this study at that moment, I would have thought, oh, great. What am I meant to do?
amazing.
Some people find it really difficult to meet friends,
Yeah.
and I have definitely had periods in my life where I
Mhm.
find it difficult or,
Same. And to be honest, those were like the
mm,
most difficult parts of my life, in my
yeah.
life, my several lives that I've lived in my life. Um, yeah, definitely remember kind of like, you know, coming to Paris like as an au pair and just being like, oh my God, how am I ever gonna find friends here? Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to just be friends with other au pair girls
Yeah.
from Germany. Like that, I could have stayed in Germany to have
Yeah, for
German friends.
sure.
It was really difficult to find friends at a point. And I remember that being one of the toughest moments of my life. And I really think it was though, because I kind of can compare other moments of my lives where I've like been surrounded by a lot of friends, which I just like have always done and been. That like yeah, that was definitely one of the reasons I was so unhappy during those. I mean, I've had good moments, but like yeah, a lot of tough times definitely. And I think it really
Mm,
was because I didn't have that support system and didn't have my
mm,
family.
mm, mm.
And I think really when you live abroad or far away from your family, this can be abroad or just like in your same country, but far away from them, like your friends can become your family. And so if you have neither your family nor your friends, oh, so
Not
yeah.
fab, not fab.
No.
I do think, oh, I've got a funny story to tell actually about this. It is about arriving in France as well. I arrived in Dijon initially when I came to France, not speaking French, like really, really not speaking French, in a very rural part of Dijon. And I used to get the train into Dijon, so from this rural area. Area
Right.
where I knew nobody and there was like no maid around. And I just kind of like sit in a bar, like kind of looking for friends. Like thinking,
Oh.
I think it's funny. It's like,
Did no one come to your table?
oh no, I didn't make any friends. And I remember telling someone from home about this, and they were like, "Oh, you went out pulling for friends. Like that's really cute." Still didn't meet anyone. Yeah, I
No.
tried.
Where
Tried.
was that the time where like Facebook, um, Facebook started coming up and where you'd be like in Facebook groups for people to meet in like different like cities? Did you do that?
I think I was a bit young for Facebook. I think that was the
Oh,
thing. I was on Instagram, and Facebook was kind of where like middle-aged people hung out. And
wait. You were when you were 23, you were on Instagram.
yeah, yeah, I already had Instagram at 23.
Really?
I am really young, Ali. That's what we can establish from this. No, I don't know. I would have gone on a Facebook group if I thought I could meet some mates, but in the end, I just moved away from Dijon to where the
Yeah.
single person I knew in France was, to Lyon.
Well, well done because that person introduced us, so
Yes, yes, yes.
that's good.
Um, what about, so you kind of talked about you need to, my mom always says you need to be a friend to have a friend. And I
Hmm.
do think, so we're talking about female friendship. I feel like guys are kind of worse at it than women.
Wait, I was just thinking, can we do an episode just on like on point stuff your mom says?
Yeah, we definitely can.
Yeah, but like, yeah, let's do talk about male friendship as well,
Yeah.
because that is when we were saying like how you have to like tend to friendships. And I definitely realized that, I mean, I don't want to make this about like, oh, this is female friendship and this is male friendship, but I can definitely tell from my partner, um, like tending to a friendship is not something that he's used to doing.
Mm.
He's kind of like it's just a given. He has all of his friends from his childhood. They're all friends still today. It's like a big group. I mean, they're
He has a huge group of friends, though.
he has
I
a
think about
crowd.
his friends. He's just got, there's just loads of them, and they're so all so nice. Like,
He has a village. He has a village.
he's got a village.
They're yeah, they are really nice, aren't they? But anyway, like it does kind of like it's a good thing, obviously, but like he lives far from them, so he doesn't
Mm.
see them that much. I mean, when we get to see them, it's very intense and we go on holidays and that stuff, so it's amazing. But yeah, he's definitely not the kind to like he might remember a birthday here and there with his phone, kind of like reminds him, and then he'll call someone if he's like, you know, in the car driving somewhere and has some extra time. And no one, I don't think anyone even kind of like thinks that he does this on purpose or anything. Anyone would just be like, oh, but he never calls or something. And but he's just like really not used to tending to friendships. I think it's something you
Doesn't
need to
need to.
learn.
Yeah, it just doesn't need to.
Yeah.
I suppose
Or
so.
maybe it's just like, I already have my wife and I have my kids and I have my work. Maybe it's just like full. Maybe his
A lot
like,
going
his
on.
need for like relationships is just like, okay, that's just how much I can do.
Yeah, we've not mentioned this yet though, but
Mhm.
we're definitely Ali, you're an extrovert. I am an extrovert. We get energy from people, I would say,
Yeah,
from interaction.
true.
I would say I would, if I could never be alone, I would never be alone,
Yeah.
I think. Would you be like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to be alone when I'm with my kids, which is weird. Obviously, I
Yes.
want to be alone, but like I would swap in any evening on my own if I could be with my friends that evening. Like it's just like,
Yes.
oh my God, yes, something's going on with the friends. There's a group. And like I also like, I mean, this may be one of the last things I'll say, but I also think like it just gives me so much energy being with my friends. You know, even if I'm tired, even if I don't know, stuff's going on and I don't want to be in the car and drive somewhere and make that extra effort to to go out if it's just about like going to a place, but I'll know like the meeting, seeing my friends, and like I don't even know what we'll be talking about, what we'll be laughing about, what will be, what the topic will be. And sometimes it's like it's here and there, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
sometimes we cry and then we laugh in the same 10 minutes. I
Yeah,
mean,
true.
it's intense. It's intense. I remember a brunch where we were all crying around the table. I'm not going to disclose the
It's so
reasons, but like
embarrassing.
there's um there's been a couple of very intense friendship moments, and still these moments give me so much energy.
Yes. I think we're maybe geared like that though, because I definitely have a really good friend who is 100% introvert. And I would say it's maybe physically painful for her when I call her on the phone. Like I love her so much. Like I would not be without her. We do our thing, but she just is better. She needs to be alone like eight
Yeah,
a lot of the time, I would say,
yeah,
which is like
fair
fine. I
enough, fair
totally
enough. If
respect
you
that.
know,
But I even more appreciate it when she does spend time with me,
that
and then
is
I'll just
true.
like chatter
Um,
her off and she'll
and then it'll be good for a couple of weeks.
and we'll not speak for a year, and then we'll be no, I'm kidding. Yeah, a few months. But
Yeah.
I think we're all kind of built different, right? Oh, I wanted to tell you about the cutest thing. So at my work, I still work at the place where we met.
Yes, you do. Not in the same
And
position though.
no. Um so I saw a woman that I know and she was carrying like a big gym bag. And I kind of know her, so I said, "Oh, you going to the gym or are you going to do exercise class?" And she said, "No, she's going to go for a sleepover at her daughter's house, like her grown-up daughter." And she was telling me all about it. She was like, "Yeah, well, we just watch a film, we chat, we have a glass of wine, we go to bed." And it just kind of made me think, "Oh my God," because Ali, you have a daughter who is 8.
8. Mm.
Yes. And I have a daughter who's 2, so she's quite far from us having a glass of wine and chilling together. But it made me think, what what do I what am I hoping for when she's
Mm.
older, you know? I kind of
Yeah,
think about me and my mum, because actually my mum's living with me at the moment, which is
I
a
know.
whole different dynamic. But
Really?
it is, yeah, we have a really great relationship. I just really hope me and my daughter have that. Sorry, my
Yeah.
dishwasher just opened. I don't know if you heard that. Um,
You know what
but
you'll do after this.
yes,
Um,
just make me
yeah,
think, project into the future.
beautiful. It is beautiful, but like in a good way. Like were you just like, as in like, was it like a glimpse into the future? But like, how can I say like, yeah, like something you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I think so. It
Mm.
made me it made me feel two ways. It made me feel really looking forward to it and thinking, oh my God, I would love to have that with my daughter in the
Yeah.
future. And then also kind of thinking about the turbulent adolescence that I went through and
Yeah.
made my mom's life
You
hell.
know what?
And
Probably the good thing would be like to keep that as like a goal, just like
yeah,
keep that
maybe.
in your head now, kind of like put it somewhere and just be like, whenever like times are difficult, you'll be like, but one day I'll have my gym bag. I'll go through the office and
Yeah.
be like, bye, bitches. I'm having a movie night at my daughter's with some wine, which is really nice.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. But we can never tell. We will see. But yeah, I hope we'll be like that in the future. It's
Sure.
impossible to know with a 2-year-old because at the moment she's insane. So
Let's hope she won't be rolling on the floor when you say you don't like the movie she's chosen
she is at the
or the
moment,
wine.
for sure. I think that's a really cute place to wrap it up. Oh, I love you,
Well,
friends. This is
love
nice.
you. Been
And
fun sharing some old memories and new ones.
yeah, it feels like so long ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like we've lived 1,000 lifetimes since those days, but
Mm,
we're still here in
yeah.
France. And if you want to join us for the next episode, you're more than welcome. I hope you
Yeah.
enjoyed your wine, your beer, your cup of tea and chocolate biscuit, whatever your poison is.
Yeah, thank you for listening. This was Emma and Alex, and we'll hear you next week
Let's see you
after
next week.
surviving Wednesdays.
Yes, well done for surviving Wednesdays. Thursday's another day. It's tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.